Step into the gripping world of the most ruthless killers as we uncover their chilling reactions to death sentences. This video delves into courtroom drama, witnessing the raw emotions, explosive outbursts, and shocking revelations that unfold when these notorious individuals face their final judgment. Let's unravel the intricate web of these high-profile cases, from remorse to defiance, desperation to unexpected turns. Here we begin. Diana Lovejoy. Diana Lovejoy, a woman from Carlsbad, California, made headlines when she was found guilty of attempting to murder her ex-husband, Greg Mulvihill. The incident occurred on a dark dirt path in Carlsbad, where Mulvihill was shot on the side. Lovejoy and Mulvihill's relationship had turned sour after a bitter divorce and custody battle over their son. During the trial, it was revealed that Lovejoy had made false claims of abuse against her ex-husband to gain sole custody of their son. The court heard that Lovejoy had engaged in an affair with Weldon McDavid, a former Marine and School of Infantry instructor whom she had met at an Oceanside gun range where he worked. Lovejoy hired McDavid, pretending to be a private investigator, to carry out the shooting. They both denied any involvement in a murder-for-hire scheme during their sentencing hearing. Lovejoy tearfully claimed she would never take her son's father away from him, while McDavid alleged that Lovejoy had manipulated him into committing the crime. However, despite their claims of innocence, the prosecutor argued that they were deflecting blame and not taking responsibility for their actions. Lovejoy received a sentence of 26 years to life in prison, while McDavid was sentenced to 50 years for pulling the trigger. When Lovejoy heard her sentence, she collapsed on the table. This case is just one example of the strange reactions that convicts can have when faced with a life sentence. Marquette Floyd. Here comes Marcus Floyd, who was already serving a life sentence for killing his pregnant ex-girlfriend, Sandy Dixon, was charged with the murder of Lieutenant Deborah Clayton in Florida. Floyd was on the run when a Walmart shopper spotted him and notified the authorities. Lieutenant Clayton tried to apprehend him, but Floyd shot and killed her during a shootout outside the store. After 9 days, the authorities captured Floyd, who didn't surrender easily and even lost an eye during an altercation with the police. During his trial, Floyd claimed self-defense and firing at Clayton and pleaded insanity. However, the judge deemed him competent to proceed with a sentencing hearing. Floyd's shocking behavior in court added to the gravity of his crimes. He spoke disrespectfully and defiantly, showing no remorse. Floyd asserted that he reacted and didn't intend to kill anyone when he shot Dixon and her brother a month before Clayton's murder. Despite his claims, the jury unanimously recommended the death penalty for Floyd. The Ninth Circuit Judge Letitia Marquez sentenced him to death for multiple charges, including the first-degree murder of a police officer. After receiving his death sentence, Floyd lashed out verbally in the courtroom. His sentence was handed down more than 5 years after Clayton's tragic death. She was posthumously promoted to lieutenant, and the Orlando police chief expressed hope that the sentence would bring solace to the community, knowing that a dangerous murderer would face the highest penalty under the law. Regardless of the terrible nature of Floyd's actions and his disturbing reactions during the trial, justice was served as he was held accountable for his crimes. Michael Madison. Next, meet Michael Madison, an American convicted serial killer and sex offender from East Cleveland, Ohio. In 2013, he made headlines for the murders of at least 3 women over 9 months in 2012 and 2013. Michael's life was marked by tragedy and abuse. Born on October 15, 1977, Michael had a difficult upbringing. He endured severe abuse from his mother and her boyfriends. Even his own father denied that Michael was his son. His childhood was plagued with trauma, and he had mixed feelings when his mother passed away. The chilling case unfolded when reports of a foul odor led the police to a garage leased by Michael. Inside, they discovered a decomposing body. The next day, 2 more bodies were found nearby. The victims, Shatisha Sheely, Angela Deskins, and Sherelda Helen Terry, were all found wrapped in plastic bags, tragically ending their lives. During the investigation, the police entered Michael's apartment with a search warrant and found further evidence of decomposition. He was eventually taken into custody without incident, but not without some drama in court. Showing no remorse, Michael smirked at the father of one of his victims, prompting the grieving father to lunge at him in intense emotion. Michael was charged with 3 counts of aggravated murder, and in 2016 was sentenced to death. He currently resides in death row. The court concluded that the aggravating circumstances, including his course of conduct, felony murder, kidnapping, and rape, outweighed any mitigating factors beyond a reasonable doubt. As the judge read out his sentence, Michael remained emotionless, realizing that he would no longer be able to smirk at the relatives of his victims. The case of Michael Madison is a grim reminder of the horrors that can be perpetrated by individuals who have gone down a dark and violent path. His actions have left lasting scars on his victims' families and loved ones, forever altering their lives. Justice has been served, ensuring Michael will face the ultimate penalty for his heinous crimes. Erica Mae Butt and Shanita Latrice Cunningham. This couple faced charges for the death of 3-year-old Serenity Richardson in a North Carolina courtroom. Serenity, the goddaughter of Erica, tragically lost her life while on a 2-week holiday at Erica's house. The court discovered that Serenity had been subjected to repeated abuse, with Erica and Shanita using a belt and plastic coat hangers to inflict harm. Every part of Serenity's body bore signs of mistreatment except for the soles of her feet. When Serenity became unresponsive, the women attempted to revive her using bleach and ice, but it was too late. The medics arrived to find Serenity already deceased. During the trial, Erica and Shanita claimed they didn't know their actions would result in Serenity's death, citing a potty incident as a trigger. The abuse itself was already horrifying, but the courtroom drama intensified the emotional impact of the case. When Judge Deidre Richardson read their sentences, both women collapsed, screaming uncontrollably and hyperventilating. Court officials had to assist them off the floor and wheel them out of the room. Erica's mother also had to be forcefully removed from the courtroom after shouting at her daughter. Nico Jenkins. Finally, let's delve into the disturbing case of Nico Allen Jenkins, an infamous American spree killer. Jenkins faced charges for multiple murders in Omaha, Nebraska. What makes his story even more chilling is that his killing spree began less than 2 weeks after being released from prison, where he had served time for carjacking and assaults committed at a young age. Jenkins claimed that he committed the murders under the command of an ancient serpent god, Apophis. His criminal record traces back to the age of 7 when he was charged with bringing a gun to school. On August 11, 2013, 2 bodies were discovered in a parked pickup truck near a city swimming pool. The victims had been shot in the head and their pockets were turned inside out. They had been lured to a meeting under the pretense of a sexual encounter. This random double murder marked the beginning of Jenkins' killing spree. Less than 2 weeks after his release, Jenkins struck again. His 4th and final victim, Andrea Kruger, was found with multiple shotgun wounds to her face, neck, and shoulder. Jenkins confessed to all 4 murders during a rambling 8-hour interview, attributing his acts as sacrifices to Apophis, an ancient Egyptian deity. Throughout the trial, Jenkins' behavior in court was unsettling. He spoke in tongues, howled, and called out the names of his victims. Jenkins defended himself in court, claiming mental illnesses such as schizophrenia, bipolar disorder, and obsessive-compulsive disorder. However, a psychiatrist concluded that Jenkins had an antisocial personality disorder and was faking psychotic symptoms. So what do you think of these killers' reactions to death sentences? Comment below and subscribe for more such videos.